Good morning. I'm Dan Bartholomew, the CEO of Railvolution, and I've been in my position for the last year. I want to welcome you for being here today and for such an exciting opportunity to learn together. Last year, we spent some time listening to everybody in the room to try to figure out how we could improve the conference, and I wanted to let you know that we've made some changes we hope will be helpful and exciting for you. We're adding more networking events and more opportunities for engagement. You might have noticed in your program that we have some new session formats. We're including roundtables, talk shows, and fish bowls. We're also putting together a PechaKucha Slam, and I'm not sure I pronounced that right. I'm not sure anybody knows how to pronounce that word, but it seems to get a lot of excitement when people try to talk about PechaKucha. So there's going to be Tuesday from 7 to 9 up at the poolside. There'll be 15 different short presentations and PowerPoints to provide opportunities for folks who may not have been selected to participate on specific panels to show their wares and to make a pitch to everybody. We're also including an idea exchange, and this is a unique kind of open forum idea where we're hoping that folks in the room who are challenged by a particular issue in a community or a particular technical problem would propose an idea for discussion. And then that would be followed up with other folks who have a similar problem who might want to sit in the room and be a part of that discussion. And then ultimately, if we're lucky enough to have experts in the crowd who are willing to participate, who may have solved that problem or worked on that somewhere, would also participate and be experts within that format. The goal here is to really provide some real-time opportunities to explore issues that won't necessarily be explored in all of the other sessions. So we really encourage you to take the time to stop by the Idea Exchange table and to talk with the folks there. Most of them will be new Railvolutionaries to help put those ideas up on a board and sign up for a session. Each of those sessions will be in the same room. It's at the very end. It's the Nichols room, which is at the very end of the mezzanine floor. And then many of you, I know there was a lot of excitement at the scavenger hunt on Saturday night. And how many of you went to the scavenger hunt? And did you have fun? Was it fun? All right. So hopefully that was a good starter for a lot of folks, and it helped get more connections with people in the crowd. The last thing I want to say about new twists we've added a geosocial map, which is really a tool that Metro is experimenting with, but we're lucky to be able to have that utilized here, which will provide you with opportunities to make comments in real time and also to access geosocial data about the places you're going on site visits and mobile workshops. And then we're encouraging you to tweet at hashtag Railvolution, one word, for those of you who are social media socialites and want to get your word out about your opinions about things. Please do that. Again, it's hashtag Railvolution in one word. So I wanted to thank the host committee, and particularly Art Leahy, who is going to be the MC here today. Unfortunately, Art is caught on a train right now, which may not be a surprise to some people, but it was a surprise to me. So he'll be showing up a little bit later, and he'll be doing the emceeing for the rest of the session. But I also wanted to point out one last and probably the most important point for me to make is that Railvolution is in the process of kind of reinventing itself or trying to figure out how we can have more impact in the future. We recognize that this event as a conference is critically important, and that one of the unique things that we have here is a cross-sector and interdisciplinary group of people from across the country. Later on, you'll hear a little bit about who's here and what the characteristics are, but it's so exciting to have people from all walks of life all promoting the same concepts or ideas here all together, and that's really what makes Railvolution unique. There will be two opportunities, however, for you to be involved in giving us feedback on our future, and both as a conference, but also as a network and an organization. And so today, this afternoon, from 12 to 1:30, there will be a Raise the Bar, Raise the Roof session, where we'll be able to talk about any ideas you have for how we can be more effective and more far-reaching. And then on Wednesday afternoon, at 2 p.m., just after the conference plenary, we'll be having another one of those sessions. So there are 3 full days in front of us and many great workshops, mobile workshops, and networking opportunities. And I think you'll see great keynote sessions. But I also wanted to just provide some housekeeping so you all are moving in the right direction. So following this morning's plenary, there will be a coffee break in the trade show located downstairs in the Hollywood Ballroom where you got your breakfast today. The morning workshops begin at 10 a.m. and they're located on the 3rd floor and the mezzanine levels. At the close of the morning workshops, please pick up your box lunches in the trade show room and take them to your set lunchtime opportunity sessions. There are really a diverse set of different kinds of lunchtime opportunities, and we just really encourage you to bring your box lunches in there so they can get started on time. And don't miss the chance to check out the bookstore that was just set up this morning. I think you'll find a number of books of authors here. It's really exciting to see how many authors we actually have in the room or attending. And there's a great opportunity to support them and support us by looking at that bookstore and seeing what you can find. And then don't miss the chance. The last thing is don't miss the chance for the Film Fest tonight, which is ends the day's formal activities. And that's sponsored by the local host and the New Revolutionaries chapter here in LA. So I'm going to introduce Art, even though he's not here, just so that we don't have to do that a second time. Art Leahy, who will be the MC for the plenary, is the CEO of Metro, our local partner and host here. He has an esteemed career in managing transit systems. Before coming to Metro, he managed the Orange County system and also the system in the Minneapolis-St. Paul region, my hometown. Art is unique among peers in the industry, having begun his career as a bus driver right here in Los Angeles. I don't know how many other general managers have been bus drivers, but I find that to be, oh, we've got a general manager who's a bus driver. Fantastic. He has a BA in political science from California State University, Los Angeles, a master's in public administration from USC, and I'm extremely grateful for Art's leadership here and the contributions of his staff to making this such a successful and exciting event. And with that, I'm going to introduce our first plenary speaker, Hassan Ikirada, who is the Executive Director of Southern California Association of Government, or SCAG. Hassan joined the SCAG in 1994, and prior to that, he was at the LA County Metropolitan Transportation Authority, which is now Metro. Hassan developed a comprehensive transportation control, measure, transportation demand, and management system for Metro, and has managed transportation and air quality related projects for the South Coast Air Quality Management District prior to joining Metro. He's also headed efforts to evaluate components of the Regulation 15, the nation's first mandatory employer-based trip reduction program designed to reduce commute-related automobile travel. He holds a bachelor's and master's degree in civil and industrial engineering from Zaporizhzhia, you may have to pronounce that, Zaporizhzhia University, which was in the former Soviet Union, I believe, or Russia. So with that, we welcome you. Thank you, Hassan.
Thank you, Dan, and good morning to all of you. Welcome to Southern California. Welcome to Los Angeles. Glad to have you. How many of you are from out town? So welcome. You couldn't complain about the weather. You probably, some of you, if you haven't been here for a while, were surprised of how the region is transforming into a place where alternative options are available for people. Today I'm going to be talking to you about recently adopted regional transportation plan that we call revolutionary for the SCAG region. To give you an idea, this is the SCAG region. It's 6 counties, over 18 million people, 191 cities, and if taken as a country, it's the 15th largest economy in the world. We like to brag about that a lot. But yet we do have a lot of challenges. When Art gets here, he's going to tell you how we're meeting these challenges heads on. Frankly, it's amazing what happened in this region in the last 20-some years. The Regional Transportation Plan Sustainable Community Strategy is about sustainability into the future. We all do plans in our great nation, good plans. This plan is special. Special because it truly looks at a system that is not solely concentrated on the automobile, on freeways. As a matter of fact, there isn't many freeways proposals for the next 25 years. But what there is a transportation system that's truly linked to land use, that infrastructure works with urban form, that's going to make the lives of the 18 million people we have today and the 4 million we're going to add much better for it. In 2008, the state of California is the first in the nation to pass a global warming law, AB 32/SB 375. State of California said for regions like ours, you are to meet a target of reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Our target happened to be 8% per capita in 2020, 13% in 2035. This is the first regional transportation plan in the country that has in it a sustainable community strategy that is to meet a state requirement in addition to the federal requirement. You know, we're 18 million today, like I said, but we're going to add 4.3 million people. That is a lot of people. That is 1/2 of the city of Chicago. And as usually say, what we're going to do with all these Chicagoans when they get here? We're going to plan for them. We're going to plan for them, and they're going to be actually having a much better system than probably the system we inherited. The growth in this region is going to 1.5 million in Los Angeles County and the other 3.8 in the other 5 counties. Tremendous growth. You know, today we waste a lot of time and congestion in this region. To be exact, 3 million hours a year. While we have a safe system, 21% of accident is pedestrian, involve pedestrians. And despite the many efforts in this region to clean up the air, and the air is much cleaner than it used to, we still are the worst region in the nation when it comes to air quality. So we have a lot of work to do. The Regional Transportation Plan does integrate infrastructure with urban form. Through collaboration with our partners, we are talking about a future system that works, that's sustainable, that's financially feasible. Before I, let me just do this. This is a video that is going to show you what a transit-oriented development really is. So watch it for a second. So the train goes. Coming soon to the neighborhood near you, right? So it's better to explain transit-oriented development this way. This is a video taken from YouTube. It's actually happened in Bangkok, Thailand, where people know the schedule of the train. It becomes a market when the train is not running. I don't think we're going to do that here, but it illustrates the point. You know, integrating... I'm glad you're laughing. Integrating land use and transportation is not a new idea. It's a very old idea. But unfortunately, we haven't been serious about it until recently. I can tell you in this region, this now, every time you talk about infrastructure investment, you talk about urban form, the implication of it. That's a good thing. And hopefully other states in the nation will learn from what's happening in Oregon, what's happening in California, because frankly, this region is much better for our coordinating land use and planning. Happy to report to you that the regional transportation plan the region just adopted not only met the federal requirement, but exceeded the state global warming requirement. And for a region like ours, that's not easy, given that we have about 67,000 lane miles of highways. And how do you get to reduce greenhouse gas emission and use other alternatives? And we did it. We did it because we worked together. And thank God for Metro's Measure R, which brought $40 billion in the next 30 years, and hopefully the next measure, Measure J, which is going to be in front of the voters in November, to bring additional money. You know, not many places in the country could say that in the worst economy since the Depression, the voters by 70% voted to charge themselves half a cent sales tax to build future infrastructure. And that infrastructure is not freeways. That infrastructure is transit. And that's what makes this plan real. That's what makes it work. So when Art is here and he is to be complimented and thanked for what she's doing to this region, he's going to tell you that in the next 10 to 15 years, this county and this region is going to see a transformation like never before. Let me see here. I'm stuck here. Help. Okay. I'm going to go back. You know, when we talk about transit, in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, we did have a great system called the red cars. You could go anywhere using that system. And people ask, what happened to it? Here it is. We destroyed it totally. We got rid of it. It didn't exist. By 1964, there were no rail in this region whatsoever. So this is a map of this region. And the thick blue line said this is the kind of rail we have in 1990 and before. We actually have no rail in this region in 1990. And in the planning world, 1990 is not very far back. So when you come to a region, if you visited Los Angeles and the SCAG region in 1990, you had no commuter rail, no heavy rail, no light rail, nothing. Look what happened since 1990. We're actually going back to the future. We're rebuilding the system that we used to have. Much better, much safer, unfortunately not as extensive, but it will be. And with the addition of Measure R, the system is further going to expand. This system is going to make the urban form totally different. In downtown Los Angeles, the increase in population is about 75%. We now have close to 40,000 people living in downtown Los Angeles. And if you haven't visited it, visit it at night. It's alive right now. It used to be a ghost town. The system is transforming this region. Now, not everybody in this region is going to live in high rises, but this region is going to have the choices for people to choose where to live. In addition to that, we're coordinating with our partners to look at the second busiest corridor after the Northeast, the Los Angeles, from San Diego all the way to San Luis Obispo. And Art led the effort in making sure that the region takes control of that system. And shortly we're going to see that. And then, of course, California high-speed rail. I know there is all kinds of arguments about high-speed rail, those for it and those against it. We're glad that we're starting the system from where I stand. I know that we could have probably handled things differently, but I'm glad to tell you that this region and the Northern California region and the state of California is going to start a system very soon. And the system is going to start by upgrading the existing system we have here, by starting a new system and working it in phases. Yes, it is costly, but I think as major infrastructure project goes, this is important for this state and for this region. So we hope that we complete this system to add to our extensive transit system and the urban form changes. I want to conclude this by saying this. This region is different now because of the efforts that we have all over. because of the collaboration that's happening around the nation. Because we actually realize that the things we did in the last few decades is not sustainable into the future. We no longer can say, okay, let us just drive. Energy cost is rising, and it's going to rise even more. We need to provide choices for people. That doesn't mean that you're going to ask people to be living in certain places, but you're going to tell people you have choices, and if you choose to, you will. With that, I thank you very much and turn it back to Dan.